The CBS 13 News at 5 starts now.
A mammoth storm moves out, but the cleanup continues. Flooding, downed trees, and power outages still impacting many spots in the valley after yesterday's record-setting rainfall.
But the Sierra is still getting slammed now with heavy snow. Time-lapse shows it building up near Donner Summit. The impact in the higher elevations is being measured in feet, not in inches. Thanks so much for joining us at 5 o'clock. I'm Elizabeth Kling.
And I'm Tony Lopez. Our news is also streaming live on CBS13 Sacramento right now. The storm dropped more rain in Sacramento than on any other day in the city's recorded history. 5.44 inches fell Sunday, shattering a record that had stood since 1880. We have live team coverage for you tonight on the impact from the valley to the Sierra. Let's start with Dave tracking thunderstorms and totals for us. Wow, Dave.
Yeah, we're tracking potentially some thunderstorms out there. Did see some stuff hold together down near Bakersville that actually had some rotation to it. But this is all just kind of winding down. Right now, we're going to watch the outflows from all the heavy rain that we got up here in the hills. Some spots saw in excess of a foot of rain into those foothills. That's all going to come down into our creeks and streams and tributaries. So we'll be watching that over the next couple of days and see what it does to things. So yeah, possibly a couple thunderstorms. Did see one that was kind of holding together a couple hours back, heading off in this direction. Did have some up over Paradise, so we kind of watched that for potential burn scar issues there. What we're watching now is, of course, the winter weather in the high country, and that winter weather will continue with a winter storm warning. We'll be watching higher pressure build in, so we get to shake ourselves off, dry things out, and assess the damage that occurred. You mentioned this. I just want to show you. 5.44 inches. The old record, and again, this is the all-time record since records have been kept, blew out that 5.28 set way back in 1880. So that was a lot of rain that came down. And as far as snow, these numbers are from about midday. 29 inches at Donner Summit. So you know we're getting more snow up there right now because we continue with the winter storm warning in place. So most likely we'll be measuring another maybe up to almost 3 feet there at Donner Summit. In the higher elevations, some spots could be pushing 4 feet. So good snowmaker, good rainmaker. I mean, torrential rainmaker. We'll have your full forecast here in just a little bit. Elizabeth?
Thanks, Dave. And as the valley starts to dry out, flooding is still a big issue in some areas. CBS 13's Marissa Perlman is live in Rio Linda. People are facing a big job trying to clean up. Marissa.
It certainly is a big job, guys. We want to show you just how deep the water goes here on Cherry Lane, pretty much as far as the eye can see. Neighbors we spoke with say they can't drive out. We also want to show you this flower field just next door. Somebody here who works here said they lost about $25,000 in crops wiped out overnight. But neighbors tell us this just shows the sheer force of Mother Nature. It was a bad night for Bessie.
11 and a half years.
Rick Ellsworth says his cows stuck outside were pounded with rain all night. He woke up to his property covered in water.
We got a lot of rain this within 24 hours.
It's something Rick's dealt with before. He says the first storm of the season normally drenches this neighborhood, but this time the rain flooded the grounds where his animals roam. And with cars trying to maneuver the high water, the wake is now tearing up his fence line.
When it floods down here because we're at the lowest part.
13 goats and a few horses haven't seen water this high in years.
Yes, I'm right here.
And the aftermath of the storm creating problems for the neighborhood.
Trees down, cars in the ditch.
This tree ended up bent in half over a fence overnight. And nearby Cherry Lane is flooded as far as the eye can see. Drone 13 shows the mess left behind on Rio Linda Boulevard, an area that was once bone dry just 2 days ago, now covered with water. Early afternoon, the flooded roads made it hard for cars to pass through.
This is the first time I've seen it flood like this in probably 10 years or better.
Tom Phillips, who grew up here, almost got stuck. He says so much rain so quickly was surprising. He was calling for rain, but he says not quite this much.
All in all, you know, as a whole, yeah, Californians, we can survive this.
Yeah, the sheer power is shown here in the ripples in the water here on Cherry Lane. Again, Cherry Lane usually has problems, right? When we see storms like this one no different. Again, cars struggling to get through the heavy water here, making it a problem for homeowners here. The county says they've been monitoring roadways like this and closing the ones that are seeing a lot of damage, seeing a lot of water. So cars like this, guys, don't get stuck.
Yeah, it can be hard to tell how deep it is until you're already too deep, for sure. Thanks, Marissa. Well, Lodi Elementary School was shut down today due to flooding. You can see the high water along Tokay Street. Not too high for that runner going through there, but this was around Vinewood Elementary there. Lodi Unified says parts of the campus were also underwater, and all other schools in the district were open, though a few were on rain delays this morning. And it's not just flooding. The storm brought down trees across the region as well, including this massive one in the Arden Arcade area of Sacramento County. It crashed onto 3 cars parked in a driveway along Wixford Way. Crews worked to cut it up and then haul away the debris.
People in Colfax are being allowed to return home tonight after concerns about debris flows prompting mandatory evacuations last night. The area was burned by the river fire, but no major mudslides materialized. CBS 13's Renee Santos is live in Colfax after heading up and down I-80 following the rain and the snow. Renee, what do you have for us?
Tony, just taking a look at the amount of debris that remains, you can understand and get a better idea of why those evacuation warnings were in place in the first place. Rain runoff can carry branches just like these and cause a big mess.
Run into this and possibly be delayed a little bit. So
Kathy Green and her husband are anxious to get home after being on the road for nearly 3 weeks. The two were caught in the middle of this weekend's massive storm, now waiting to safely get back on the road.
we were in the San Francisco area and we delayed our trip by a day. And in actuality, we should have left yesterday in spite of the heavy rain and wind we had there, because we would have beat the storm that arrived here and is turning into snow.
Heavy snow began falling in Cisco Grove Monday afternoon, where Paul Strong stopped to grab some food while on his way to work in Truckee.
A little bit heavier than the last two this early. I've heard about the flooding.
Down in Colfax is where authorities had the biggest concern, worried about heavy rain causing debris flows. This is what part of the river fire burn scar looks like. We're off of Hillcrest, where there's debris scattered everywhere. This was an area of concern because it sits higher and part of the road passes along a mountainside where downed trees and branches still remain. Tom Green is hoping the worst of the storm is over so he can finally get back home.
It could. We were going to take the 50 bypass around, and then they closed that at the last second down in Sacramento, I think, because of a burn scar slide. And we've had that in Colorado all summer long with big closures.
Now, there is some more rain expected tonight, but nothing like what we saw all day yesterday. Still a really big cleanup process here in Colfax, not because of the rain, but because of the river fire that impacted this area just a few months ago.
Yeah, it was not a good weekend to be driving, that's for sure. Certainly not yesterday. Renee, thank you. Live in Colfax tonight. Highway 50 is back open after Caltrans crews blasted away a rock slide over Echo Summit. And what a mess. The rock slide's really been the story of this storm. Chain controls had been dropped, but those are back in place at this hour on 50. Crews still working to clear a number of landslides and rock slides. Highway 70, this is the image that you can't get out of your mind after seeing that rock and mountain just give way. Trees, boulders, and sediment came sliding down across the lanes in the Quincy area of Plumas County. The CHP says it could take a few days at least to get everything back open.
Well, it was all hands on deck for PG&E during the storm, with more than 3,000 employees and contractors working to try to restore power. The utility tells us that they pre-positioned teams and equipment so that they could start making repairs as soon as possible.
And as soon as the weather clears, our crews are out there making assessments, making repairs, getting the power back on for customers.
Even in the rain?
Even in the rain. Our line workers work in all conditions.
At the height of the storm, there were roughly 157,000 customers in the dark, mostly in the Bay Area and also in the Sierra, but tens of thousands are still without power.
Well, the storm's finally bringing an end to the long fight against the massive Dixie Fire. CAL FIRE says it's now fully contained. The fire burned for more than 100 days in Butte, Plumas, Lassen, Shasta, and Tehama counties. It grew to more than 963,000 acres, the second largest in state history. The cause is still under investigation, though PG&E admitted its equipment may have sparked it. A lot more storm coverage for you coming up at 5:30. We check in on the wild rise in lake levels and what the massive storm means for the state's drought. You can also find more on our website, CBS13.com.
In a matter of days, 28 million kids in the U.S. may be eligible for a COVID-19 vaccine. An FDA advisory committee will vote tomorrow on whether to recommend emergency use authorization of the Pfizer vaccine. A review by the agency found that the shot was nearly 91% effective at preventing symptomatic COVID. Experts say that it could be a game changer for holiday gatherings.
Families that seek their first shot by mid-November, that those children will be considered fully vaccinated by the winter holidays at the end of December. Vaccinating children will be really important for us to be able to return to normal life as we know it.
If the FDA officially signs off on the 2-dose vaccine, kids ages 5 and up will be able to get shots at pediatricians' offices and even schools as well. Meantime, Moderna says its vaccine for kids generated a strong immune response in those ages 6 to 11. Nearly 5,000 children participated in that study, and they were given half of the dose received by adults 4 weeks apart. Moderna plans to submit its results to the FDA.
President Biden was in New Jersey today touting the benefits of his struggling Build Back Better plan. The president's self-imposed deadline to pass his sweeping agenda is fast approaching, next weekend to be exact. And a big part of his job includes getting holdout Democratic senators Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin on board. Biden held talks with Manchin at his Delaware home over the weekend, and both sides say a deal could come this week.
We're all working in good faith. I've been talking to everybody, as you know, and I think that we've got a good understanding of each other now, better than we've ever had.
Senator Manchin says he's holding firm right now at wanting to only spend $1.5 trillion. That's down quite a bit from the original $3.5 trillion price tag. It's uncertain if progressive Democrats in the House will agree to the lower dollar figure.
Stick around. Your news at 5 is just getting started. Coming up, new details about that deadly movie set shooting. What 911 calls are revealing about the moments before the prop gun fired.
Plus, new help for thousands of Afghan refugees. The resettlement program connecting them with families who want to help.
And ghastly gas prices haunting drivers ahead of Halloween. What's driving the surge and why relief may take longer than you think.
Tough as nails. A competition about America's toughest workers. Is everybody ready to get the job done? Go! Yeah, cooking with fire. Whoa!
This chain is extremely heavy.
Whoa! And Alfie goes down. I just gave it all the power I could.
Water's coming over my face. At this moment, I'm getting into a panic state.
I've got these big mitts on, and I was using my teeth.
A new Tough as Nails Wednesday, 9/8 Central on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
Don't be left in the cold. Embrace the warmth with a cozy heat fireplace from Custom Fireside. From wood stoves to modern gas and electric inserts, we have it all. Visit a Custom Fireside showroom or go to CustomFireside.com today.
Subaru presents The Underdogs. They may have lost an eye, or their hearing, or their youthful good looks. But there's a lot of things these remarkable dogs haven't lost, like their ability to lick, wag, and love with the best of them. Join Subaru in helping underdogs find a loving home and celebrate all dogs during our 3rd annual National Make a Dogs Day.
This is the look of a woman who fought cancer for years with no answers. A woman who bravely championed her own health and found a doctor who'd do the same. A woman whose ending was rewritten when she found remission. This open enrollment, choose a UC Davis Health doctor and discover the life-changing care that truly supports you at any of our 18 convenient locations throughout the Sacramento region. UC Davis Health, discovering healthy.
Sure glad we went to Les Schwab.
I'm glad the baby's still happy.
Well, I'm just glad that along with tires, Les Schwab also does brakes, alignment, and a bunch of other safety services. I mean, if we'd gone to a cheap tire store instead, I'd be a doggone wreck.
My thoughts exactly.
Les Schwab Tires. Proud to be ranked #1 in overall customer satisfaction for aftermarket tire replacement by J.D. Power 2 years in a row.
911, what's your emergency?
I smell something delicious and I don't know what it is.
Ma'am, we traced the smell, and it's coming from inside your oven.
Ah, amazing.
Papa Murphy's.
CBS Mornings. Weekdays on CBS.
Welcome back. Fire still smoldering tonight inside a cargo ship off the coast of Canada. Dozens of containers on a large shipping vessel caught fire over the weekend, forcing crews to dump at least 40 of them into the ocean, including some with hazardous materials. 16 people on board were evacuated. The fire was blamed on rough seas. The fallout from that deadly movie set shooting has revealed a number of safety issues for the film, with a 911 call raising questions about how the gun was handled.
Good night, Dave. He's supposed to check the gun. He's responsible.
According to an affidavit, Assistant Director Dave Halls grabbed one of 3 prop guns and shouted "cold gun" as he handed it to actor Alec Baldwin. Baldwin fired the gun while rehearsing a scene where he was supposed to point it at the camera lens. It's still not clear if criminal charges will be filed.
Or they have to demonstrate criminal negligence, that the person acted recklessly with wanton disregard for the safety of others.
Cinematographer Helena Hutchins was killed and the film's director standing behind her was wounded. We're expecting to learn more about the case when they hold a Wednesday news conference.
Thousands of refugees from Afghanistan are resettling in Sacramento, and now there's a new program to help. The White House unveiled it today.
As CBS 13's Natalie Brand explains, it's based on a similar resettlement program in Canada.
For Afghan evacuees escaping Taliban takeover, resettling in a new country can seem overwhelming. A new effort by the Biden administration aims to connect evacuees with individual Americans willing to help.
So we're working on the application as we speak.
Wan Nguyen, former refugee herself who lives in Seattle, has already volunteered for the newly unveiled Sponsor Circle program, in which groups of at least 5 people form to provide assistance with housing, financial support, medical services, employment, and other needs for at least 90 days.
We just feel that it really is our obligation, also frankly our privilege, to be able to be in this position where we can just help others that need help.
The State Department has tapped the nonprofit The Community Sponsorship Hub to vet the volunteers.
Those folks all need to be over the age of 18. They need to pass background checks. They will have to demonstrate proof of resources that have been raised.
The administration's new program is modeled after a similar private refugee sponsor program that's been in place in Canada for the past 4 decades. Sasha Chanoff is the CEO of Refuge Point, one of the groups that will be assisting.
This program has actually changed Canada in significant ways because millions of people have participated. And I know personally that when you take part in helping a family that has lost their homes, it becomes the most profound experience of your own life.
Advocates say the primary need right now remains getting evacuees off military bases as quickly as possible, especially since other evacuees are still waiting to come to the U.S.
Well, sponsor circle groups also need to fundraise about $3,000 for each Afghan that they want to welcome into their community.
Developing story right now, an earthquake has rattled parts of the Central Coast. Let's show you where. Let's take a look at the USGS map. San Simeon in San Luis Obispo County, home of Hearst Castle. 4.7 is the magnitude near San Simeon, about 19 miles from Cambria. And they've had an aftershock also of 3.6. This area, of course, known for the oceanic thrust fault earthquakes that they have. Back in 2003, this area in San Simeon had one that was greater than 6. I think it was 6.6 at the time. But no reports of damage from this, but we'll watch it for you as more aftershocks are likely to come in from that area. More storm coverage now for you, and the tail end of our atmospheric river now sweeping through Southern California. It's the first big storm of the season there. Nothing like what we saw, though, but they do have some burn scars to worry about. Santa Barbara County specifically. Less than 2 inches forecasted to fall in Los Angeles, but that still makes big news down there, as you might know. In Sacramento, the rain has moved out, but the water remains. Look at these kayakers taking advantage of a heavily flooded soccer field. That's what I call dedication. Why not? Get the workout in. This is North Natomas Community Park. You know, a lot of the parks have those retention ponds built in case of heavy flooding. Just got to look out for maybe some critters as you kayak, because you never know.
Maybe what might pop up there. Yeah.
At least it's not Florida. We don't have those kind of critters.
No, I'm talking maybe baby snakes.
Baby snakes, yeah. Well, right now we are going to take some baby steps over here and show you what's going on in the high country. Winter storm warning will continue up until 11 o'clock tonight. Already saw close to 30 inches of rain as of midday up at Donner Summit. So you know, with the flakes still flying and the snow level at 6,000 feet, it's going to at least add up to do more than that, obviously. We're drying out for our Tuesday, and then later on, we're warming up a little bit. How mild will we get? We'll talk about that as we go through our little weathercast here. All right, let's take a live shot for you. Bald Mountain. Crepuscular rays. Those are the sun rays that kind of get broken up a little bit by the clouds and make those sort of fingers of light coming down. Well, that's what you got right there. Looks sort of angelic. We're looking off to the west. Let's take a look at our numbers and see what we're doing. 61 currently in Sacramento and Stockton. Modesto at 61. Marysville, you're back. All right, last week we had some issues with Marysville's thermometer. It's working at 64 degrees. Here's a look at your humidity at 60%. Dew points are up in the upper 40s, close to 50. Not a lot of wind, and the barometric pressure is rising at 29.85. All right, let's take a peek here. We were talking about rain going into Southern California. So are some thunderstorms. And as we go down here, you can see just around the Bakersfield area, that's a severe thunderstorm watch in place and or warning, and we're watching that. We're also had been watching a tornadic situation down there where we had a tornado warning. Just goes to show you that as this stuff progresses down, it's still pretty active. And of course, the Southern Sierra now getting their hit of snow and or wet weather. And up here, we're seeing whatever's left of our system. It gives some more rain on into the foothills, but it can kind of take it, even though some spots got like 10 to 15 inches of rain out of this whole thing. The snow will continue up in the high country. Widen this out really quickly, and then we'll get into our maps here. We'll just show you that for the most part, this is all out of here. Tomorrow's a cool day. Should be dry for most locations outside of the northwest corner of the state. Then the high pressure builds in and the temperatures moderate just a skosh. So this is what we have for tomorrow. It's mostly cloudy conditions. Temperatures are going to run in the low 60s, northern San Joaquin Valley. For Sacramento off to the north and west, a slight chance of a shower. Temperatures range in the upper 50s to right around 60 degrees. Normals at this time of the year should be a little warmer than that. On toward the foothills, we're going to go with temperatures here as we dry things out only in the 40s on into the 50s. And then we may have a little bit of something up in the high country up here toward Plumas County. And then as we head on over toward the lake, we'll go with dry conditions and gusty winds, possibly seeing some gusts in the neighborhood of about 30 miles per hour. And again, that's over toward the lake itself. That's where we're going to end up with that. And we'll zip ourselves all the way over toward the 7-day forecast for everybody here. And this just shows you we are high and dry. And of course, our 7-day forecast for us locally, including Halloween coming up here. It was spooky, but nice, mostly cloudy, dry, and good for the trick-or-treaters. But there you go, warming up to the low 70s, still below average, but better than 50s, and tons of rain. Elizabeth?
All right, thanks, Dave. Still ahead at 5, a rush to hire amid a global traffic jam. The length some companies are going to entice drivers and warehouse workers.
Then at 6, teens with COVID developing sudden severe psychiatric symptoms. So what's going on here? A new study trying to figure it out.
The team at Jacoby & Myers has gotten our clients up to 10 times the insurance company's original offer. Don't settle for less. Choose Jacoby & Myers.
Selling your car is like breaking up with someone when you're 12. The best approach is to have someone else do it for you. With Shift, you can avoid the hassle of selling your car. They come right to you, and the whole process takes about an hour. Just like any good breakup.
Shift.com. Used cars never felt so new.
Has COVID-19 made it hard to pay your rent or utilities? Are you worried about eviction? Get the help you need now. The California COVID-19 Rent Relief Program covers 100% of your unpaid rent and utilities to help you remain in your home. Apply for rent relief now and let your landlord know you've applied so you can avoid eviction. The application is fast and you won't be asked about citizenship. Apply today at housingiskey.com or call 833-430-2122. Sponsored by the state of California.
We need to reduce plastic waste in the environment. That's why at America's beverage companies,
our bottles are made to be remade.
Not all plastic is the same. We're carefully designing our bottles to be 100% recyclable, including the caps.
They're collected and separated from other plastics,
so they can be turned back into material that we use to make new bottles. That completes the circle and reduces plastic waste.
Please help us get every bottle back.
Why not refinance and pull cash out of your house at today's low rate? Why pay high interest rates for a car loan, credit cards, or anything else? Your house can be your piggy bank. Call 8337-OWNING or go to owning.com.
Traditional pharmacies can be incomplete. and holistic shops are limited. It's time for a true whole health pharmacy experience. Rite Aid pharmacists are educated in both traditional and alternative remedies to help you find solutions like herbs for better sleep or essential oils to help with stress, so you can take control of your whole health and wellness. At Rite Aid, we're here to help you not just get healthy, but get thriving. Get your free flu shot and support your immune system at Rite Aid today.
Get the CBS13 app on any device. Download now.
Win $1,000 in easy money on 92.5 The Breeze. When you hear the cash keyword, text it to 200-200 for your chance at $1,000 on Sacramento's relaxing favorites. 92.5 The Breeze.
Welcome back. Massive supply chain issues being blamed on increased shipping costs and a shortage of workers and truck drivers.
Yeah, we call in Curtis Ming with the lengths that companies are going to try to fill those positions.
Yeah, they really are desperate. We're talking about 500,000 warehouse and transportation jobs open right now. The rush is on to fill those jobs ahead of the holidays.
Instead of being $39.99 retail, now it's officially $54.99.
Outdoor toy maker Ed O'Brien is raising prices on some of his most popular products.
I do not think people will pay that. We will lose most of our sales on this item now due to the retail price.
But he says he has no choice because of the port backlog. He's paying more for shipping than ever.
We have faced over $2 million of unexpected expenses.
Companies almost certainly won't be able to fill all the roles they hope to this holiday season.
Andy Challenger with the outplacement firm Challenger Gray and Christmas says companies are trying to entice workers. Amazon is offering signing bonuses up to $3,000 and starting wages up to $22.50 an hour. Walmart and Target are offering free college tuition.
What it's mostly doing is hiring away workers from their competitors, and that's why we're seeing some of the highest quits rates that the country's ever recorded.
But for Ed O'Brien, there are even bigger concerns if things don't turn around.
We've already had a round of layoffs, and I obviously would expect more the way that it's going.
All right, now back to the big storm. Fewer than half of those in high-risk flood zones have flood insurance, and more of us are struggling to find fire insurance. So what's being done about it? Well, California is exploring climate insurance. What is that? We're going to take a look coming up in our next half hour.
All right, Curtis, thanks. COVID-19 was likely spreading around the U.S. and Europe long before we realized it.
That's according to a new study. Researchers looked at models along with travel patterns, and they found transmission was likely happening by January of 2020, with infections going undetected because testing was so limited at that time. They think only 3 in 100 infections were actually being detected. The first U.S. case was reported on January 21st. Europe's first case was a few days later in France.
A new way to treat appendicitis without surgery. So the American College of Surgeons now says antibiotics can be a first-line treatment for many patients. A trial of 1,500 people found nearly 7 in 10 patients given antibiotics avoid surgery in the first 3 months. 4 years out, just under half had actually had the surgery.
We're hoping that helps empower people to have discussions with their surgeons about the treatment option that makes the most sense for them at that moment.
By the way, appendectomy is the most common emergency procedure in the country. One big note, the clinical trial did not include children. Our 1 hour of news at 5 continues now with Curtis and Adrian.
All right, Tony Elizabeth, thanks so much. We continue our coverage of that massive storm that slammed Northern California. We'll have more on the storm's aftermath, plus how the heavy rain is refilling our reservoirs and why the levels will continue to rise.
Plus, pain at the pump. Gas prices now within a penny of an all-time high in Sacramento. We're getting answers on when they could fall.
And a disturbing discovery at a Southern California seaside community. What police think may have led to the deaths of 3 people.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Welcome to this world. You have some big shoes to fill. People will tell you what to eat. Everyone will have an opinion.
Higher, just put your head a little higher.
And yes, there will be tears. Lots of new introductions.
4 ounces, that's a good sign.
Sleepless nights.
That's normal. Okay.
So many new toys. It's not going to be easy, but together we got this. Kaiser Permanente. Thrive.
Do you want to sell your house without the hassle of cleaning, showings, and repairs? Then call Sunday. Sunday helps homeowners sell the fast, reliable, and easy way. Sunday gives you a free, no-obligation cash offer and buys homes in any condition. When you sell to Sunday, you pay 0 fees and don't have to do anything to your property. You'll even qualify for a $20,000 cash advance when you mention this TV commercial. Call Sunday at 1-800-25-OFFER or visit our website to get your cash offer today.
The next step for your hard work and retirement savings should be the inner workings of Social Security, an Allworth Financial virtual workshop. Allworth Financial has helped thousands plan for their best retirement, and our no-cost workshop reveals strategies to help you retire and get more from Social Security. Virtual workshops are on October 23rd, 26th, 27th, and 28th. When you attend, Allworth Financial will give you a free retirement planning ebook. Register today at 855-503-5011 or allworthfinancial.com/workshops.
What is all this?
We call them options.
Options? Don't make me laugh.
Unbeatable selection without the drama. 2-pair, including the cost of your eye exam, as low as $59.95.
Getting answers. The CBS 13 News at 5 continues.
Now at 5:30, the weather threat after a weekend of record rain across the region. Thunderstorms are now popping up in parts of Northern California. Thanks for staying with us here at 5:30. I'm Curtis May.
And I'm Adrienne Moore. Our news is also streaming live on CBS10 Sacramento. The other storm story today in the Sierra, where a winter storm warning is still in effect. Take a look at these pictures here from Heavenly Ski Resort. Wow, right? This is where more than 2 feet of snow fell. The resort says it is still planning to open on November 19th.
But before the snow started falling, it was heavy rain, and one of the wettest spots today, Blue Canyon, breaking a 24-hour rain record. You see that number right there? Incredible, 10.4 inches. The previous record was nearly 50 years ago, set in 1964. And yeah, that's just a 24-hour total day. The numbers are even higher if you look at the whole weekend.
Take a look at these 72-hour numbers, and we've got one that actually dwarfs Blue Canyon. Look at Grass Valley, 12.81 inches of rain, and we are still picking up small accumulations up there in the foothills. Blue Canyon added up more. Look at that, almost to a foot of rain. Auburn, 10 inches. That's barely up there into the foothills. Elk Grove, 8.38, and Modesto at 3.38. You're right, we do have some lingering thunderstorm potential. I think I just saw a lightning strike right there. So they're still out and about. Snow levels running about 6,000 feet, so that'll continue to give us that winter storm warning in the high country. Down into the southern portion of the Central Valley, we actually have some pretty decent thunderstorms down near Bakersfield. Had a little rotation with one of those, and one of them has gone to severe state. This is all leaving. High pressure will build in. Even though it says warm, it's just not super warm. It's just going to be drying conditions, a chance for us to really assess what's happened and shake ourselves off and get ready for what's going to turn out to be a pretty nice 7-day forecast as we wrap up the month of October. So there you go. Slight chance of wet weather, probably more toward the north, and we'll just basically call for a dry day, highs in the 60s after a super soaker of a Sunday. Curtis?
All right, thank you. The storm causing several rock slides along Tahoe's west shore. The CHP cleared the lanes along Highway 89 between Emerald Bay and Inspiration Point, but they do warn more rocks could fall. And in South Sacramento, a mudslide blocking both directions of Twin Cities Road. This is just west of Clay Station. The CHP says expect delays.
Now the focus turns to cleanup, and once again, Rio Linda is a priority, dealing with flooded roads and downed trees. CBS 13's Marissa Perlman is live there with a closer look at the damage. Marissa.
Well, it is still a mess here in Rio Linda at this hour. We know Cherry Lane here is notorious for causing issues during a flooding event, and this storm system, guys, is no different, leaving its mark. Now it's up to neighbors to clean up. We want to show you some video of what we've seen as we've been surveying the damage here in town this afternoon. This tree off of West 2nd Street ended up bent in half over a fence overnight, and Cherry Lane flooded as far as the eye can see. Drone 13 caught some video this afternoon showing showing the mess left behind on Rio Linda Boulevard. An area that was once bone dry just 2 days ago is now covered with water. And a flower field next to where we're standing right now, nearly destroyed. We spoke to the owner, who says he lost about $25,000 worth of crops and equipment just overnight. He runs a flower stand out of the same property that's sitting in just about 3 feet of water right now. And back out on Cherry Lane, neighbors say they've gotten stuck here trying to leave their homes all day. We do know Rio Linda Boulevard and Cherry Lane here are both closed off to traffic. Some neighbors say they haven't seen rain like this, guys, in nearly a decade.
Yeah, Dave called it a super soaker on Friday, and he wasn't lying. All right, Marissa, thanks so much. Let's take a shot here from Drone 13, flying over Folsom Lake today. The water level is still pretty low, but yesterday's heavy rain, of course, helped raise the lake level by more than 8 feet in just 24 hours, and it is still climbing. Folsom Lake is now 44% of average. Lake Oroville is up 21 feet since Saturday. It's now 41% of average, and the Don Pedro Reservoir is 73% of average, with more runoff flowing into the lakes in the coming days. So what did yesterday's record rainfall mean for California's drought? Well, in our last hour, we spoke to Professor Jay Lund from the UC Davis Center for Watershed Sciences to get some answers.
Watersheds have been very, very dry after 2 years of drought. We're still in a drought, but this big, huge storm that we've had this last weekend has wetted the soils throughout the state, I think. And as you've just seen, it's started to raise the levels in the reservoirs. The levels have been largely going down for the last 2 years, and now they're starting to work their way back up, but we have a long way to go.
Yesterday's wet weather equaled about 1/5 of the average rainfall for our region in a normal year. So with so many extremes hitting California, the state is now talking about climate insurance.
Yeah, it is a new community-based approach to lower risks and make sure more people are protected.
Record fires, record drought, record rain. And that is just since August. The next disaster, our lack of insurance. Many can't afford it now, and it's getting more expensive.
Climate insurance is about protecting people.
The Department of Insurance released this report, Reimagining Insurance, and one approach, community-based insurance.
I think there's potential for like a group of community members, like a neighborhood association, to say we should consider an insurance policy for our neighborhood, or say a set of business owners in a certain district.
Kristen Pauling, an urban planner with LA County, was part of the working group behind the report, which suggests neighborhoods, cities, or counties could buy insurance to guarantee everyone has some degree of coverage. It'll force communities to invest to lower fire and flood risks and keep insurance costs down.
Making sure that we have as many people with insurance as possible is an important goal.
Some ideas to lower the risk: building wetlands to store water in floods, creating statewide hazard maps so you're clear on the risks where you live, and even naming heat waves just like hurricanes with categories so people properly prepare. But right now, all of these are just ideas.
The report was really just to sort of whet the appetites of thinkers in this space to say, how can we apply community insurance?
Well, even the Department of Insurance admits there is no immediate benefit to this. The report is the starting point, and they hope it leads to pilot programs, but nobody can say when it'll happen.
Now to a live look from the state capitol tonight, where the head of the embattled EDD was in the hot seat today over lingering delays and massive fraud. The hearing was pushed back twice until after the governor's recall election. Lawmakers blasted the EDD after a state audit found some filers are still waiting more than 6 months for their claims to be reviewed. Coming up tonight at 6, how these hearings are holding EDD accountable and the changes it still hasn't made.
Still ahead at 5 and streaming on CBS13 Sacramento. 3 people found dead in a Newport Beach home. Why detectives cannot go inside to investigate.
And police investigate alleged threats made against multiple schools. The one thing they all have in common.
The price of gas on the rise. Why experts say they will not drop anytime soon.
If you have a typical airline credit card, you're not getting double miles on every purchase.
You're right. I only get extra miles on some types of purchases.
May I?
Please.
With a Capital One Venture card, you earn unlimited double miles everywhere.
Oh.
Yes.
Everywhere is great, but where can we use them?
You can use them on any travel purchase, not just some travel purchases.
Venture gets a gold star.
What's in your wallet?
Grab your Mickey ears and get ready for the ultimate Disney party, filled with all your favorite Disney friends from Toy Story 4, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, and more. Dance, laugh, and sing along as you become part of the celebration. Join the fun at Disney on Ice presents Let's Celebrate live in your hometown. October 28th through the 31st, Disney on Ice returns to the Golden One Center. Get your tickets today and come join the party.
There is a place where the sound so distinct, where winning big spins to incredible heights. Luxury finds you at every turn. The night comes alive and never ends. It's Northern California's premier destination. Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Live out loud.
Now is the perfect time to get your home project done in time for the holidays. We have one of the largest inventories of in-stock flooring, countertops, and kitchen cabinets in the region. And Zothex has the staff to offer fast installation services on all in-stock materials, so you won't be waiting months to finish your job. Shop local and experience the Zothex difference. Huge selection, quality service, and installed fast.
Zothex. Zothex.
This is your Roseville Auto Mall update. Prices are falling fast at the Roseville Auto Mall Fall Savings Event. Looking for a new, pre-owned, or factory-certified vehicle and want to shop from the best selection in town? With 17 award-winning dealers, 20 major brands, and thousands of vehicles in stock, there is no better place to find your perfect new automobile. We've got factory discounts and great interest rates. You can even shop and get pre-qualified online. Save thousands during the Fall Savings Event at the Roseville Auto Mall. Driven to be the best.
Flooding, rock slides, and evacuations as a record-breaking storm slams Northern California.
CBS 13 first to alert you on this storm on air and on CBS in Sacramento.
CBS 13 News, keeping you safe wherever you watch.
Well, it's happening again. Disneyland raising prices just 6 months after reopening. Starting today, tickets are up about 6%. And on the busiest days in the park, a single-day ticket will run $164. Sacramento is now within a penny of the all-time high for gas prices. AAA says it is not scaring people off the roads with demand still high. The price at the pump has gone up every day for the past 27 days, adding 20 cents per gallon, the highest since September of 2014. California's average is 5 cents higher than last week at $4.54. Sacramento drivers are within a penny of the record high of $4.57. Now, that was set back in 2008. Gas is a few cents cheaper in Stockton. Modesto is averaging about $4.43. So prices usually start to drop by mid-September when refineries switch to the cheaper fall blend. We're now in October, so will we see any relief anytime soon? The answer from AAA, not likely. Crude oil prices remain high and could go even higher this week with supply concerns.
Governor Newsom was in the Central Valley today to tour the planned location of a UC Merced medical school. It will be the first public medical school in the region and will partner with UC San Francisco. The governor says the school will help bring new healthcare options to remote communities. The school is expected to serve more than 2,000 undergrads by 2030. Frustrated truck drivers forced to wait out the storm. Why, they were told to stand by while others got the green light. Dave?
A lot less green on Old Titan HD, meaning less wet weather. We're going to wrap up the month of October, talk about Halloween, and look to the beginning of November. All that, got to unpack it all for you coming up in just a bit. Curtis.
And a shocking discovery in Newport Beach. At a home there, what may have killed 3 people inside.
Sharing smiles together is a gift.
At Aspen Dental, it's easy to gift yourself the smile you deserve. New patients, get started with a comprehensive exam and full set of x-rays with no obligation. And if you don't have insurance, it's free. Plus, get 20% off your treatment plan. Enjoy flexible payment options and savings when it matters most. We're here to make your smile shine bright so you can start the new year feeling all right. Call 1-800-ASPEN-DENTAL 7 days a week or book today at aspendental.com.
We've been doing this a long time. We've seen thousands of auto accident cases. Between the freeways and rush hour traffic, California's roads can be a dangerous place to drive. People get injured every day. In cases of serious injury, remember, your lawyer matters. Your lawyer matters to the insurance company. Your lawyer matters to the jury. And let's face it, your lawyer matters to the result. Choose the law firm with the reputation and experience to win your case. Choose Jacoby & Myers.
My friends and I think about the future a lot. And it's looking brighter because SMUD's improving our air, helping the planet, and using technology and new ideas to power healthy communities where we can all live, work, and play.
By 2030, SMUD will be 100% carbon-free, so you can live in a clean power city. Join the charge with SMUD at cleanpowercity.org.
When you buy a brand new car, it loses roughly 50% of its value in the first 3 years. Not the case when you buy a great used car with Shift. Of course, if you really want to waste a bunch of money on a brand new car, you can just do this. Now, technically, that's littering, so I'm going to go back and pick all that up.
Shift.com. Used cars never felt so new.
What is all this?
We call them options.
Options? Don't make me laugh.
Unbeatable selection without the drama. 2-pair, including the cost of your eye exam, as low as $59.95.
CBS Mornings, weekdays on CBS.
Tonight, a death investigation is underway after 3 people are found dead inside a home in Newport Beach.
Michelle Geely has the shocking discovery.
It is. It's sad.
Police blocked off the alley Monday off of Diamond Avenue as they investigated what may have killed 3 people in a back unit just steps from Newport Bay.
I haven't listened to the 911 call, but obviously it was concern. And that person that did call us also eventually went to Hoag Hospital and got treated.
And is that person okay?
Yes, and is expected to survive.
Officials say that person is a man who needed medical attention. He described to police that 2 women and a man in this upstairs unit were unresponsive. Their names and ages haven't been released, but they are described as friends and family who rent the residence behind the main house.
I think it's tragic. My mom lived in that apartment for years. This is a nice, quiet neighborhood, and nothing like this ever happens around here.
The Newport Beach Police Detective Lieutenant says there was no violence associated with the 3 deaths, but they do want to talk to 1 or more witnesses who may have had contact with the group over the last 24 hours. Police went in and confirmed the 3 were deceased. However, at this point, police can't go back inside because they're concerned that detectives may be exposed to something hazardous.
There are illegal drugs suspected right now, and usually illegal drugs sometimes contains fentanyl. We don't have or confirm that there is fentanyl in there, but out of an abundance of caution, and we're going to process it as though there might be a potential exposure inside.
Police have towed away a new white Porsche. There's a constant stream of neighbors walking by and wondering what has happened on their quiet island.
It is quiet. Everything's pretty much closed down by 9 o'clock at night. The real partiers are on the peninsula, and this isn't a real party place.
So the investigation is ongoing. At this point, police are not calling it a homicide.
Cops in Modesto are now saying a threat of a shooting at several Stanislaus County schools was not credible. That threat showed up on Snapchat. Investigators also say a social media threat against 2 schools in Elk Grove was not credible. Extra deputies patrolled Cosumnes Oak High. The post told students to meet in the parking lot of the high school and bring guns. Investigators also say they do not consider that post a prank. The Twin Rivers School District is looking to fill 175 jobs. It's hosting an in-person job fair this Thursday at McClellan Park. They need para-educators. Those are teachers' assistants. They also need administrators, maintenance workers, and school bus drivers.
Let's get back to our Storm Watch coverage now with some wild images here. The Big Lots over on Auburn Boulevard could not receive deliveries this morning. Because of this, the loading dock was turned into a swimming pool, really. Sac Metro Fire says it took about 15 to 20 minutes to clear a path and save all the products. Wow.
Big Lots was a big lake.
It was.
Yeah, let's get back to Dave now after quite the monster storm that moved through the area.
It's not done because in the high country, snow's still flying around up there. Here, look at some of these totals, and you're going to go, man, that was pretty good. And remember, it was a rain event up until the tail end of yesterday, and then it turned to a snow event overnight. Donner Summit, 29 inches. Soda Spring, 29 inches because they're kind of right next door to each other. Even Bear Valley at 8 inches. Kingvale, took a while for Kingvale to turn over to snow and change over, but at 14 inches. And this stays in place all the way to 11 o'clock tonight, above 6,000 feet, a winter storm warning. So we're not done with this system. We're done with the wet portion of it, but the wintry portion carries on for a little while longer. Let's go out to a live shot, see what we have. Oh, it's right here at CBS 13, looking off to the east. And you can see some of the cloud cover out there, and farther off to the east, of course, the snow is flying up in them there hills. So let's take a peek here at what we have as far as our temperatures. Right now, 61 in Sacramento. 61 Stockton, Modesto, 64 Marysville. Humidity is around 60%. Winds are 5 to 10 out of the west-southwest. Barometric pressure is rising at 29.85. So I'll take away the winter storm warning, and you'll see there's still winter weather going on up here at about 6,000 feet on up. Some lightning strikes, so a few showers and thunderstorms could be happening as we head into the evening hours. We could have a few showers kind of lingering into the evening hours around the Sacramento area. And then after that, we'll go for pretty much a dry day. I'll say we'll go dry. There might be something in the north part of the state on Tuesday, and then definitely drying things out as we wrap up the month of October and head toward November. Next chance of wet weather most likely will be in the early part of November. So it gives us a chance to clean up and dry out. Mostly clear skies over toward the west. A few clouds to get going tomorrow morning. Morning lows will be in the low 50s. And then as we hit the afternoon, we're going to do something like this at the coast. How about a slight chance north of San Francisco of rain? Otherwise, partly to mostly cloudy, mid-60s. Definitely dry down toward Monterey. Partly cloudy skies. Kept a shower in here. Just threw it in there in case something hit and misses and kind of hangs together as we hit about 10 o'clock. Should be a mostly cloudy morning, still dry, but just watch for slick roadways. They're not all going to dry out, apparently, obviously. And then a slight chance north of Sacramento tomorrow, north and west of some wet weather. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, upper 50s and low 60s. We're going to still be seeing some showers at 10 o'clock in the foothills, the mountains, the foothills themselves will squeeze out a little extra wet weather potential. Clouds around tomorrow morning, and then as we go through the afternoon, should be just partly to mostly cloudy skies there in the foothills. Should be dry and a cool Tuesday, highs only in the 50s. And then as far as the Sierra goes, by 10 o'clock, we're still under that winter storm warning, but that should be being allowed to expire by 11 o'clock. And then as we get toward tomorrow morning, we'll keep it kind of gusty and cold. Morning low about 25. Then for the afternoon, flakes should be done at that point, and daytime highs will be pushing only on into the mid-40s with gusty winds down at the lake. Here's your 7-day forecast as we wrap up the month of October. Halloween looking pretty good. Low 70s Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And that's November. Beyond that, some unsettled weather trying to come back into the forecast. Adrian.
Dave, thanks. Stuck in the Sierra, the storm stopping truck drivers and its impact on their business.
And hi, everyone. I'm Tony Lopez. Coming up in just minutes on the CBS 13 News at 6. Fire and rain. How the recent storm could impact the remainder of fire season. We'll have that. Plus, teenagers and COVID, how the virus could be attacking their brain. Stay with us.
Watch CBS and Sacramento on your Apple device. It's so easy. Go to CBS13.com/iOS for step-by-step instructions.
Beautiful day in Baltimore, where most people probably know that Geico could save them money on car insurance, right? But you see, the thing is, Geico, well, could help them save on boat insurance too.
Oi! Okay, I'm ready to come in now. Hello?
I'm trying my best.
Seriously, I'm serious. Request to come ashore.
Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance.
Kids like me have trouble walking.
Kids like me avoid the spotlight.
We can't go to sleepovers.
Or go on long hikes.
But Shriners Hospitals for Children changed everything.
Shriners Hospitals for Children, Northern California is top ranked with some of the most innovative pediatric specialists in the world who work relentlessly to provide the best possible outcome, a confident childhood. Shriners Hospitals for Children, the most amazing care anywhere.
I'm Ashley Amario. For decades, I've recovered millions of dollars for my clients.
After my crash, I called Ash. They were friendly, yet aggressive, getting me a huge settlement that I never dreamed of.
When I was in a crash, I called Ash. I was really scared and in pain. Her team took care of absolutely everything.
When I was in a crash, my wife told me to call Ash. They made the big rig pay.
In a crash, call me, Ash, at 888-ASHLEY-911.
California, the future should be built for everyone. So we gave the 2021 Ford F-150 the only full hybrid engine available in the class. Built it to power ideas anywhere with an available ProPower onboard generator and a new interior designed to keep you connected. This is a new generation of F-Series, the best-selling truck for 44 years, and it's only the beginning. Now get the 2021 Ford F-150 with 0% financing for 72 months. Only at your California Ford dealers, where the future comes standard.
Now is the perfect time to get your home project done in time for the holidays. At Zothex, we have a huge selection of quality in-stock materials, and we can install it fast. Experience the Zothex difference.
Zothex. Zothex.
Flooding, rock slides, and evacuations as a record-breaking storm slams Northern California.
CBS13 first will alert you on this storm on air and on CBS in Sacramento.
CBS13 News, keeping you safe wherever you watch.
More storm coverage now. All evacuation orders are now lifted for San Mateo County.
Let's get to reporter Jocelyn Moran in Millbrae.
Heavy flooding, keeping several cars stranded in the middle of Millbrae Avenue. Dejanique Madlock says her husband was driving that white Chrysler when he got a flat tire. He tried to drive it to the Chevron gas station.
He was riding through here thinking he would make it and didn't make it, and there it is right there.
And on her way to check on the car, Dejanique got a flat tire herself.
I was coming off one of these exits and kind of hit something, and so now it's flat.
The area remained closed for the morning, with some drivers deciding to be safe while others still drove through it. Residents in the peninsula saw several of their streets flooded, including near businesses on the west side of 101 in Millbrae. Others saw downed power lines and went hours without power.
Had just come back on. It went out like 1:40 yesterday. We had to rush this morning to get ice so that it's kind of like to try to salvage as much as we can from the fridge contents.
We woke up this morning, no power. So we're hoping when we get back after this walk, we'll have power.
The storm over the weekend created conditions many residents can't remember experiencing in the Bay Area.
It's kind of scary, man. You would think we're living in like Florida or Texas somewhere with the weather conditions like this.
The newly built water vault at McKinley Park filled up yesterday, and you can see the water going on the streets there. The 6 million gallon vault is supposed to prevent wastewater and stormwater from flowing into the streets. Now, it was built for a 10-year storm event. The city leaders call this storm a 200-year storm event. And the weather impacting truckers in the Sierra.
CBS 13's Rachel Wolf with why it was hurry up and wait.
I could just walk to Reno faster.
Dylan Flint and his friend Andre Jawa drive truck for FedEx, transporting packages from Reno to Sacramento.
We've been here for, 6 hours? So chained up, and then they told us we can't go even though we have chains.
Caltrans closed I-80 at Nyack Road due to a record-setting storm that rolled through the Sierra, stalling commercial traffic.
How's it going?
Waiting.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, usual.
Andy Roca owns his own rig. He's on his way to North Dakota to ship honeybees back to the Golden State.
It ain't our first rodeo going over the hill.
It stung a bit as he watched Interstate 80 open up to passenger cars with four-wheel driver chains by mid-morning.
There's no reason why we can't go. It's a power play.
Do it, but we have to do it. It's a law in California, and if it's a law in California, then we have to fix it. And today, it says maximum. So last time I got 4 chains. Now I have to have 6 chains. So it is what it is.
This trucker hired professional installer Chris Latito.
It's relentless. It just won't stop raining.
Latito, at it for decades now, reminds drivers to always be prepared.
Don't come out here without your chains, full tank of gas, your patience,
and maybe a snack if you get hungry in the car.
I'm hoping it clears up soon. The weather didn't say it's going to hit this hard, but what can we do? We got bills to pay.